Friday night, we got some scores to settle in the Nassau Coliseum. IRS, Canadian Mountie, you're gonna be stepping in the ring with me and Hitman Hart, the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Champion, and everybody in the crowd in front of a packed out house. They're gonna be the judges. They're gonna be the jury. Me and the Hitman, we gonna make sure that the sentence is carried out to the fullest extent of the law. So IRS, Canadian Mountie, get ready to serve hard time.
You know something, IRS? This isn't gonna be any padded cell. And Mountie, you went too far when you tried to electrocute me, and now I got you all to myself. I got the one man that's gonna leave you all to me. Big Boss.
What's up, y'all? This your boy, Mr. I-240. I'm back with another video. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all I'm gonna give y'all consistent content, you know what I'm saying? So, y'all already know, I just dropped that Mark Henry, the best cruiserweight judge, and I think before then, I dropped it that Randy Savage, the life of a Savage. Go check them junks out, you feel me? If you're new to the page, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button, you know what I'm saying? But I do got an underground banger right now, you know what I'm saying? But before I do that, you know what I'm saying, I give thanks to the Lord, Jesus Christ, Yahweh, whatever y'all want to call him. Because if it weren't for him, won't be no me, won't be no page, won't be no y'all, you know what I'm saying? So you got to give a big thanks to him. But today, I'm giving y'all the Big Boss Man, who was cold as hell, but I always got lost in the middle, you know what I'm saying? Especially in his late WWE era. But I just saw his dark side of the ring, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he fumbled the ball, but we'll get to all that, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, if you're new, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button. Let's get it. Pow! Here we go. Big Boss Man, his early career. After his career as a correctional officer, Boss Man then transitioned into a professional wrestler where he debuted in 1984. Then began working as a jobber for Jim Crockett Promotions. The head booker was Dusty Rhodes, who took a notice of Trailer potential, particularly after seeing him take a Tully Blanchard slingshot suplex finisher despite being 6'6" and over 350 pounds. And he took him off television for 3 months before repackaging him as Bubba Rogers. This is when his career started. Because you gotta remember, I think if y'all watch Dark Side of the Ring, he had trained for like 2 days and they threw him to the wolves. Then, like they just said, they packaged my boy as Big Bubba Rogers, and he received a big push, man. So here it is. He received a big push as the heel bodyguard for Jim Cornette, who was one of the greatest managers and shit talkers in the world. Allegedly, well, ain't allegedly, he is a racist. That's what he said. He said the N-word, not me. Look it up. But he's still one of the greatest managers in the world, and one of the most critical professional managers. That boy criticized wrestling more than anybody. If he don't like something, he don't let it be known. But he was a bodyguard for Jim Cornette, who was alongside the Midnight Express, who was feuded with the James Boys, Rhodes, and Magnum TA under masks. Rogers feuded with Rhodes as the top face of the time in a series of a bunkhouse stampede matches in 1986. So you gotta remember, I think he got over when Dusty Rhodes hit him with the fake chair, and he didn't sell it. He no sell, and his character took off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this guy was 6'6". Back then, it wasn't a lot of 6'6". I mean, it was a lot of guys that was 7 foot. 300 pounds, but it wasn't no guy that was 6'6" and 350 pounds back then. But he and Rhodes were tied for wins in the series, leading to a tie-breaking steel cage match, of course, which Dusty Rhodes won on February 27th. But in 1987, Trailer joined the UWF after it was purchased by Jim Crockett. On April 19th, Trailer won the UWF Championship from his eventually tag team partner, the One Man Gang, who became Hakeem Trash. But, of course, Vince wanted him. Vince loved strong, athletic, big guys. Pause. And Vince came calling, and he left UWF for the World Wrestling Federation. But, following his title win, he aligned himself with General Skandar Akbar in his Devastation Inc. stable. Trailer lost the title to Dr. Death Steve Williams on July 11th during the Great American Bash Tour. In the second War Games match on July 20th, or on July 30th, Trailer as War Machine teamed with the Four Horsemen, of course, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Lex Luger, and Tully Blanchard, in a loss to the Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk, Nikolai Klokov, Dusty Rhodes, and Paul Ellering. When Animal forced the War Machine to submit by gouging his eyes out with a spike armband. Damn. Whew. I gotta watch that match. But watch that when I look that up. But then, of course, Trailer made his first tour to Japan in March to April 1988 wrestling for All Japan Wrestling as Big Bubba as a part of his Champion Carnival series. During the tour, he primarily teamed up with Bruiser Brody, marking some of Brody's final matches before his sudden death in July 1988. We all know what happened. If not, y'all can watch the Dark Side of the Ring episode, or y'all can watch my episode I did on Brody last year. If you know, you know. But his matches during the tour, including defeating, I don't know that dude's name, in Tokyo, I don't know that pay-per-view name, and he wrestled John Tenta, of course, who was Earthquake, to a double countout in, I don't know that country name, and teaming with George Cycling in a loss to the Great Kabuki in, I don't know that dude's name, in Tokyo, in the Korean Koken Hall. Then, of course, he got called up to the big leagues. He was getting his big shine as a heel with my main man, Slick. But here it is. In May 1988, Trailer joined the WWF as the Big Boss Man heel character, inspired by his previous character as the correction officer. Managed by, I just said it, my main man, Slick. Boss Man post-match routine often included handcuffing his defeated opponents to the ring ropes, beating with a knife stick, ball and chain. But on August 29th, he defeated Koko B. Ware at the first SummerSlam. Boss Man began his first major WWF angle by attacking Hulk Hogan, who was specifically brought into the WWF to be an opponent for. Of course, Hulk Hogan was run out of guys, and Andre the Giant got old, and wrestling back then in the golden era was kind of him. Just gotta keep it real. But in the October edition of the Brother Love Show, he also formed a team with his eventual tag team partner, Akeem, formerly known as the One Man Gang, who Hogan whooped his ass too. Known as the Trent Towers at Survivor Series on November 24th, they teamed up with Ted DiBiase, King Haku, and the Red Rooster. Damn, Terry Taylor. They gave you a trash ass name. In a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, but they lost to the Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan, WWF Champion Randy Savage, Hercules, Koko B. Ware, and Hillbilly Jim. But the Twin Towers were a key part of the top storyline of Savage turning on Hogan, leading to a WrestleMania 5 main event and later part of the tag match between the four on February 3rd, 1989 at the main event 2, where Hogan abandoned Savage to attend the Hurt Miss Elizabeth and went backstage. After double teaming for a while, Savage eventually rallied until Hogan returned to the match. After Savage tagged Hogan in, he slapped Hogan and left him to defeat the Twin Towers on his own, which led to the Mega Powers' demise, and of course they had the main event match at WrestleMania. But at WrestleMania 5 on April 2nd, the Twin Towers defeated the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Meanwhile, the Boss Man continued to feud with Hogan in a series of steel cage matches, and most notable encounter on May 27th on Saturday Night Main Event. He failed to win the WWF Championship. Of course, Vince wasn't going to put the belt on him. Are you crazy? Hulk Hogan is over. But during the match, Hogan suplexed Boss Man off the cage. The Twin Towers were involved in a feud with Demolition Axe and Smash over the WWF Tag Team Championship. But at SummerSlam on August 28th, they teamed with Andre the Giant and lost to Demolition and King Duggan in a 6-man tag match. The Boss Man subsequently feuded with Dusty Rhodes and led to a team on November 23rd at Survivor Series, including Bad News Brown, Rick Martel, the Honky Tonk Man, but they lost to Dusty Team. Okay, you only really had like 3 great wrestlers and a limited guy. And when I say these names, you'll know who the limited guy is. Dusty Rhodes, well, he was over. Dusty wasn't the best wrestler, but he was better than the next guy, but whatever. Brutus Beefcake, Red Rooster, and Tito Santana. Then, of course, my boy had a change of heart going into 1990. Here it is. Boss Man then turned face on February 24th, 1990 on the episode of Superstars when DiBiase had paid Slick to have Boss Man to retrieve the $1 million championship belt from Jake Roberts, who had stolen it. Boss Man retrieved a bag containing both the belt and Roberts' pet python, Damien, on the Brother Love show. He refused to accept DiBiase money for the bag and returned it to Roberts. Boss Man then defeated his former tag team partner Hakeem in 1 minute at WrestleMania 6. Later that month, WWF All Japan Wrestling Summit in Tokyo Dome, Boss Man lost to Jake Roberts. But at Survivor Series, November 22nd, he teamed with Hogan, Duggan, and Tugboat to defeat Earthquake, Hakeem, Dino Bravo, and the Barbarian. Now y'all check out that Dino Bravo episode, man. That jump was hard, man. And y'all can go check out Dino Bravo Dark Side of the Ring too. That jump was sad and emotional. My boys out here trapping cigarettes. That's what they said. But the entry to the theme song Hard Time was performed by Survivor Series lead singer Jimmy Jamison, written by Jimmy Hart, JJ McGuire, Mike Stock, and Pete Waterman. But in the fall, Boss Man began feuding with Bobby the Brain Heaton and the Heaton family after Heaton consistently insulted Boss Man mama. You know them Southern boys, we don't play about that mama there. Gotta leave mama alone. Better than them deep South country boys. Well, you know, y'all saw Forrest Gump and you saw Waterboy. Mama said. Y'all remember when the professor insulted that man mama in the movies? Stop playing that. So, here it is. But he defeated Heaton family members, the Barbarian, on January 19th at 1991 at the Royal Rumble. And Mr. Perfect on March 24th at WrestleMania 7 in the Intercontinental Championship match disqualification. Man, it would have been a big moment. That man would be Mr. Perfect, man. But following this feud, he feuded with, of course, Vince had come up with another character, another anti-heel police officer. Vince came up with it, and he was in the episode of Dark Side of the Ring, and they show how the match came up. My main man, the Mountie. The Mountie to see who the real officer of the WWF was, culminating in a jailhouse match at SummerSlam, August 26. Boss Man won the match, thus the Mountie had spent the night in jail. This was the only such match ever held by the company. He also held the upset victory over Undertaker in 1990, with that year, in the upset in the November where he won by disqualification. Got my tongue tied, my bad. But here it is. In 1992, Boss Man had an 8-man tag match at WrestleMania, teaming up with Virgil, Sergeant Slaughter, and Jim Duggan against the team of Brian Knox, Jerry Saggs, Repo Man, and the Mountie, which Boss Man won. And then he went to a feud that sounded good, but it was really trash because Nails could not wrestle. I'm sorry. Nails had the look. He was crazy, but nah, trash. That wasn't it. I'm sorry. Damn. Here it is. So, he then began feuding with Nails, an ex-convict character in a series of promos earlier before the debut, claimed that Boss Man had been his abusive officer in prison and warned he was seeking revenge. On the May 30th episode of WWF Superstars, Nail clad in an orange prison jumpsuit, ran into the ring and attacked the Boss Man. Handcuffed him on the top rope and repeated him choking him and beating him with a stick. Boss Man took time to sell off the fake injury, eventually returning and having a series of matches with Nail. In 92. The feud culminated in Survivor Series where Boss Man defeated Nails in a knife stick on a pole match. This the best you can do with one of your top stars, man. He was in the wrong era, man. Bret and Shawn was coming up. I mean, Hogan was still getting his shine. It was tough for Boss Man to come up, dog. But Boss Man latest major feud was against Bam Bam Bigelow, leading to a match at the Royal Rumble. Why did they have a one-off, man? Both guys, that was a good-ass match, but they were just like, nah, we don't believe you no more. Peace out. Boss Man lost the match. He left WWE shortly after a few house shows in Quebec. The Fiend Dunk the Clown. He made a couple appearances at USWA, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Australia, Japan. In December, he briefly returned to the WWF to serve as a special guest referee for 3 house shows in the main event between Bret Hart and Jeff Jarrett. I'm trying to see what this around the time he started doing the painkillers too. They said my boys was on them painkillers real hard. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, especially during the time when you traveling, man, down there back then, 300 days of the year. He got addicted to them painkillers, and you know, Dan there lost his family to the junk. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Because his wife wasn't going for that, and it was affecting his children. You feel me? And here it is. So in 1993, he was in New Japan Wrestling. In July 1993, Trailer as Big Bubba returned to All Japan Wrestling as a part of his Summer Act series. During the tour, he primarily competed in the tag team division, facing teams such as Super Generational Army, the Young Bloods, and the Holy Demon Army. He wrestled on a memorial show for Bruiser Brody, who had been killed in Puerto Rico 5 years earlier, teaming up with Johnny Smith to lose to Steve Williams and Terry Gordy. In his final match on the tour, he lost to Akira Tahu in Tokyo. I don't know what that is. Y'all know me. I ain't gonna try to mispronounce something and mess up on words. Hell no. But in September, October 1993, Big Bubba returned to All Japan as a big part of the Giant series, where he made matches including teaming with Steve Williams to defeat Danny Spivey and Johnny Ace, and that arena I don't know about, and teaming up with Stan Hansen to defeat the Super Generational Army. Then, of course, he returned to All Japan Wrestling for the 3rd time from November to December as a part of the World Tag League for the vacant World Tag Team Championships, entering the round robin tournament with Steve Williams as his partner. Bubba and Williams placed 4th in the tournament with 8 points. His matches during the tour including teaming with Williams in a loss to Giant Baba and Stan Hansen. Then, of course, he went back home. By that time, the momentum was dead. Because the Boss Man character was so big, you knew Vince was going to copyright it. You thought you were going to take the Boss Man name? Hell no. Sit your ass down. Copyright. Here it is. And he was in meaningless feuds at that point. And that's when the career went downhill. By 93, he was Boss Man. But by 93, there was a new era. It was just wash. Trash. But here it is. Trailer made his debut at World Championship Wrestling as The Boss. On December 18, 1993, episode of WCW Saturday Night Main Event, pinning WCW International World Heavyweight Champion Rick Rude in a non-title match. He challenged for Rude World Title at Starrcade 93, the 10th anniversary, on December 27. Of course, he lost. But in 1994, he began a lengthy feud with Big Van Vader, losing him on April 17th at the Spring Stampede. In light of illegal complaints from WWE regarding the similar of the Boss to the Big Boss Man, Trailer was renamed the Guardian Angel. When I saw that character, I was like, Guardian trash. Not you, Lord, but the character in wrestling, they want it. Then, of course, sported similar attire to those in the organization he named. He was named after he sequentially lost to Vader at the Bash at the Beach on July 17th. Fall Brawl on September 18th. And of course he lost to Vader. Damn, you lost to didn't you? Man, you lost to Vader 3 times. On October 23rd. That momentum was gone, man. It was over. It was over. Once paperwork get involved, then yeah, it was over, man. Then in 1995, he turned heel to become back to his first name, Big Bubba Rogers, defeating Sting at Uncensored. on March 19th, but lost to Sting in a rematch at Slamboree 95. A legend reunion on March 21st. On September 4th, Rogers challenged Hulk Hogan for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship on the debut episode of Monday Nitro, but failed to win the title. I guess they were trying to recreate that WWF match, but that wasn't it. Then, of course, like I said, it went downhill. He joined the Dungeon of Doom and feuded with former Dungeon of Doom member Earthquake John Tenta, which he lost to at the Great American Bash on June 16th. And he lost to him at Bash at the Beach. At this point, trash. Damn. No faith. Then, of course, on December 16th, episode of Monday Nitro, Rogers defected from the Dungeon of Doom to join the NWO, attacking the Faces of Fear during a bout against the Outsider. He sequentially began a feud with the Dungeon of Doom, facing Dungeon of Doom member Conan in a series of matches, including a strap match and a chain match. But on January 25th, 1997, it saw that he defeated Dungeon of Doom member Hugh Morris in a Mexican death match by running Morris over with a motorcycle at the ringside. I guess to watch this. Who the hell booked that? Hey man, how can you win a match? Hey man, I'm running man over with a motorcycle. Right. Okay. That's good booking. All right. Rogers' team in NWO abruptly ended when he was knocked out by an unknown assailant at the start of February 17, 1997. He later explained that Eric Bischoff fired him from the NWO while he was temporarily paralyzed. Then, of course, upon his return in September 1997, Trailer resumed wrestling under his real name, began feud with NWO, forming an alliance with the Steiner brothers, who also sought Ted DiBiase as their manager. The union abruptly ended it when Scott Steiner turned on them to join the NWO in February 1998. After Boss Man lost to Goldberg on the episode, of course, that's when you know you're washed. You lost to Goldberg on the episode of Nitro. They gave him the boot. Peace. But he had a chance to make a comeback. He had a chance. Here it is, y'all. So Trailer had rejoined the WWF shortly after it became the Big Boss Man again on October 12, 1998. Except this time he came with a new look, abandoning his blue police shirt for an all-black SWAT team uniform, including the vest and glove. He served as Vince McMahon bodyguard during his feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin in DX, one of the first members of his heel stable, the Corporation. He was wearing the mask and then he got revealed. But here it is. So on the episode of Raw, Boss Man defeated Mankind for the WWF Hardcore Championship thanks to The Rock. Big Boss Man and Ken Shamrock initially defeated by WWF Tag Team Champions, the New Age Outlaws, at Rock Bottom on December 13th. But however, on the following night, they won the tag team titles in a rematch, making the Boss Man a double champion. But he lost the Hardcore title to Road Dogg 2 weeks later. But he defeated him in a non-title rematch at Royal Rumble on January 24th. In the same pay-per-view, he entered the Royal Rumble at number 22. He was eliminated by X-Pac and D'Lo Brown. Well, he eliminated X-Pac and D'Lo Brown before being eliminated to Stone Cold. So y'all gotta remember that 1998 Survivor Series match. We didn't know this. Boss Man was supposed to be coming in on the match, but they said he was having a whole conversation with the Undertaker. Cause you gotta remember, him and Stone Cold got a good industry, man. Vince McMahon was looking, Boss Man didn't show up, so they had to go with something else. And Stone Cold came backstage and cussed that man out. So basically, at this point, he ruined his big push. And I think this is when he was hooked on the pills and all that for real. Real hard. Pause. Then, of course, Boss Man and Shamrock lost the WWF Tag Team Championship to Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett on the next night of Raw. Then this one got worse right here. Yeah. Alright. In March 8th, The Undertaker brought the Boss Man to the ring alongside the rest of the ministry to sacrifice the Boss Man. They did that, tying his arms and his legs to the symbol. Boss Man managed to break free from the symbol before crashing down to the ground, and the ministry assaulted him. Then the corporation came to help the Boss Man. In the end, The Undertaker was arrested and the symbol was lit on fire, like how Kane does it. And then the worst Hell in a Cell match of all time. Heel versus heel, no deal. The chemistry just went third. The match was boring. And then, of course, here we go. Alright. So, at WrestleMania on March 28th, Big Boss Man lost his first and only WrestleMania match to The Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell match. After the match, The Undertaker did a live lynching, man. The man did some KKK lynching on live TV. In front of the main family. They say allegedly Vince didn't know. I feel like that's full of crap. Vince just didn't give a damn. I think either Vince didn't give a damn or he was trying to punish the man. You know what I'm saying? But they showed and the man was embarrassed. He was hurt by it. You know what I'm saying? But that was a wrestling the cold business. They love to wrestle, man. Anything you love is gonna break your heart, bro. You're never gonna stop loving what you do at times, but it's gonna break your heart, dog. But yeah, right in front of his family, it's just like he was hurt by it. Hell, his daughter was hurt by it. I ain't see the other daughter, but I know she was. But at Over the Edge, on May 23rd, Boss Man was a part of the corporate ministry. It was basically the ministry and the corporation came together, losing to the Union at an 8-man elimination tag. Big Boss Man also competed in the qualifying match at King of the Ring and lost to X-Pac. Man, this shit sad, fool. God damn. Alright, so Big Boss Man's equivalent was in a feud with Al Snow, which eventually involved a pet chihuahua named Pepper. He won the WWF Championship, Hardcore Championship from Snow on July 25th at Fully Loaded. At SummerSlam, August 23rd, the two had a Fall Count Anywhere match that spilled into the backstage area. The Streets found into a nearby bar. Prior to the match, Snow had set Pepper pet carrier near the entryway minutes into the match. Boss Man picked it up and taunted Pepper and struck Snow with a carrier and Curly tossed it behind him. Commentator Jim Ross immediately apologized to viewers for the act and stated that Pepper had been removed from the box before the match. Snow won the match and regained the WWF Hardcore Championship. Boss Man regained it back on the episode of SmackDown. 2 weeks later, Boss Man kidnapped Ransom Pepper, arranging a meeting which he fed Snow a meat dish supposedly made from pepper remains. The man said, "This pepper, my tripping." My bust that laugh. I ain't gonna hold. I ain't no Elmer Curry dude, but that was funny. They might say, "Oh yeah, what you eating? This tastes good." They might say, "Oh yeah, you eating pepper, bruh." I said, "Damn, fool." I said, "Damn, bruh." I bust out crying laughing. I'm sorry, bruh. It's funny. I mean, and plus come on, they ain't gonna cook no dog for real. They just, but imagine trying to do that segment today. You think Peter ain't finna get on your ass? Shit, you better not try to talk about you eating pepper and all that, boy. Peter finna attack. Straight up. So he fed Snow a meat dish supposedly made from pepper remains, but on the same night, Big Boss Man lost the Hardcore title to returning British Bulldog. He gave the belt back to Al Snow. But Big Boss Man and Snow said that they figured in one of the worst matches. It couldn't get no worse. 1999 probably had to be the worst career. First, he was already in a terrible feud with Undertaker. Then it's ending on a Kennel from a Hell match for the title at Unforgiven on September 26th, in which blue solid steel cage surrounded ring itself, surrounded by the Hell in a Cell. The objective was to escape from the cage and then the cell while avoiding attack dogs. Man, them dogs was friendly as hell. Which turned out to be disappointingly the worst rated match of 1999, positioned outside the ring. Boss Man ultimately lost the match but won the title back in a triple threat match involving Snow and Big Show 2 weeks later. That title reign ended up being for 97 days. Then of course, Boss Man feuded with the Big Show, the WWF Championship in October, which was the worst rated feud of all time and one of Big Boss Man's biggest feuds. That's crazy. During the feud, Big Boss Man admitted that he pulled the plug on his cancer-stricken father and broke his family heritage loom and hit Show with a hammer. And he showed up at Big Show father's funeral and made some disrespectful remarks. You gotta remember, if y'all watch the Big Show, the DVD Big Show real father actually passed away 4 years prior to that. But he made disrespectful remarks such to asking Big Show's mother to go out with him, then drove the Big Show over with his blue mobile, afterwards changing the casket back of his car and driving off. Big Show attempted to save the coffin by jumping on it, riding for a few yards before losing grip and tumbling off. Big Show and Albert trapped Big Show in the room where he was doing an interview and threw tear gas and locked the door. On November 15, 1999 episode of Raw, where Big Boss Man seemingly beat The Rock after assist from Prince Albert, who broke up a pin from The Rock. Prince tried to hit The Rock with a steel trip, but missed the Big Boss Man. The Big Boss Man also tried to. Alright. The Rock, Prince Albert tried to hit The Rock with a steel trip, but missed the Big Boss Man. He also tried to break up another pin, but The Rock dodged it. Why they give me the rundown of the match? I don't give a fuck about this. Big Boss Man won the match against The Rock. Alright, here we go. Big Boss Man assaulted the Big Show again with a knife stick after a match between Big Show versus Viscera. Big Boss Man appeared on a Titantron with his mother. Big Boss Man managed to get his mother to tell Big Show Big Show is a bastard. Boss Man didn't expose the hidden camera without her knowing. Identified that she publicly said this to everyone that Big Show is a bastard. Big Boss Man then met Big Show at Armageddon on December 12th in a match. The Big Show was releasing all his tension on Big Boss Man and chokeslammed Prince Albert, who tried to intervene to help Boss Man through the Spanish announce table. Then Big Boss Man hit Show with steel steps into the ring post. Big Show did an impressive drop kick for a 500-pounder before hitting Boss Man with the chokeslam, pinning to retain the title. Why they give me a full rundown on this match, dog? God damn, I get it, but shit. I mean, do we gotta talk about his 0-2 run? It was just a pointless matches at this point, and I think this one, the addiction to the painkillers, was just up here, and he was just there just to be here. I mean, his last decent run was with Fury Buchanan in 2000, but that didn't hit on shit. Then, of course, he was released by the company in 2003. He did try to run for mayor and stuff like that, and yeah. Then, of course, we all know that he died in 2023. I mean, 2004. My bad, 2004 due to a heart attack. If y'all remember the last part of the episode, I think his sister was visiting while his two daughters went upstairs to play. His wife came, she left the room about 10 o'clock, and then she returned to find him dead on the sofa. And shit, by all the painkillers and drugs, she got up with the man, you feel me? But, and of course, you gotta remember, his best friend, Curt Hennig, did die. Had an overdose too, so he was badly affected by that too. Curt Hennig passed away in 2003 due to an overdose. But with that being said, y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I think I got another bang on the way. I don't know if it's gonna be the Brock Lesnar or the Hogan versus Savage. But with that being said, I love you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep God first. We out. Peace.
Brett, this Friday night we got some scores to settle in the Nassau Coliseum. IRS, Canadian Mountie, you're gonna be stepping in the ring with me and Hitman Hart, the World Wrestling Federation Federation Intercontinental Champion. And everybody in the crowd, in front of a packed house, they're gonna be the judges. They're gonna be the jury. Me and the Hitman, we gonna make sure that the sentence is carried out to the fullest extent of the law. So IRS, Canadian Mountie, get ready to serve hard time.
You know something, IRS? This isn't gonna be any padded cell. And Moni, you went too far when you tried to electrocute me, and now I got you all to myself. I got the one man that's gonna leave you all to me. Big Boss.